Hi everybody, I'm Tara from Crooked Row, and today we're going to talk about seeds. It's beautiful. I don't know if you can see behind me, but oh, it is just a gorgeous day. Our weather has kind of chilled out and we'll reach very near the 80s, but it's kind of staying in the 70s. Things are starting to like wind down. It's still summer, but you know, we're heading into fall. You can definitely tell because the goldenrod is out, which I love. It is time to start collecting seeds, and we have been letting our corn dry out, and I have some really big cucumbers on their vines. I was letting them get like nice and bloated so that we could get the seeds from them, and then kind of show the fermenting process that we do with some seeds and that we don't do with others. So let's go get started and see how we actually gather our seeds. Let's go. We actually are we have several rows that are dried out stalks. We pulled a lot of it out, but these first two rows back here, we actually like on purpose left these on, and sorry for all the weeds. But Elijah will go in here to the plant and actually pull them out. No, get the ears. There we go. Now just peel back so that we can see if they're dry. These are beautifully nice and dried. I know some farmers will pull it, keep it off the when it's not so dry, and they dry them right on the cob. So if you still have fresh ears, you can still pull them off and just dry them. But these are nice and dried. I think those are great. So we'll finish out, you know, the rest of this row and use this seed for next year. Okay, we are coming down here to the trellis, and I have allowed my cucumbers to kind of die. They look awful. But I can also go ahead. These are nice and yellowed or orange mostly, and they pull off easy, but they're big and bloated because these are tiny pickling cucumbers. So I'm just going to pull the rest off too. Okay, yeah, there's one right there. There might be more than that. You guys might want to like look through.
That one's got a little spot on it.
Yeah. It's even okay if they're a little bit soft, guys, because we're going to ferment these seeds. So these are, I think we used Boston pickling cucumbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure. Ooh! Now that is gross.
Yes, that's nasty.
That is pretty gross. Oh, let's just throw that somewhere. Anywhere will do. Wow, that is ginormous. Look at it, show me.
Ooh-wee.
Woohoo! That's a big old cucumber. We have other ones down here that, I mean, I don't know if you can see how big these are. Man, these puppies are bloated. But they haven't changed colors yet. So we'll leave those be for a little while longer. We have some really dried out ones. And before it rains, I wanted to go ahead and get these. I mean, you can tell these are just, you can crack it. You can hear them. Hear it crack. Elijah, go ahead and break it open. You should be able to break that open and have some beautiful seeds come out like that. So my kids are going to go through these plants and see just how many of these we can pull out today. We'll keep doing it until we have frost. So here we go. So So the kids are working at breaking open the already dried green beans and putting them in a canning jar. And that is pretty good. You just tightly close it. Oh, of course, always check on your seeds, make sure no moisture is building up. We'll just take canning jars, and so you can just, you know, pull these off of here. I know that some people, I believe there's like a little device, but I just wanted to show you. These sweet corn should be like wrinkled and hard. And so when you put your, I have no thumbnail. Do one of you guys have a thumbnail?
No.
I do.
Oh wait, this one's a little longer. You shouldn't be able to dent it. It should be that hard. So I cannot dent this corn. So that's good for drying. If you have corn that's not completely dry, you can put it in a slatted box or a mesh bag. You'll want to make sure and take everything off of it. You can, if you're going to hang them upside down to dry them, then you leave that husk on and but pull it off and make sure none of it is on the corn. And then you can braid the husks just like we braid garlic. So there's that idea, to dry it like that. Or you can remove everything, put it in a mesh bag. You can also like remove everything and dry them on screens and things like that. You just have to make sure that wherever you're putting it, they're not going to get moisture. And don't forget that even dew brings unnecessary moisture. So I'm going to get cracking on pulling off this corn seed. So we have a pile right here that are not dry enough. They look dry, like this looks dry, but some of these, when you go to press on them with your nail, it's not even that they move, it's that, can you leave an indentation on them? And if you can, then they need to dry more. So we're gonna go ahead and put these in a mesh bag, and we're gonna put them in, you know, where they get plenty of air. So this is all just the juice right here. So there is a gelatinous coating around each of these seeds, and by letting it kind of ferment for the next 1 to 3 days, it will release from that gelatinous coating, and you'll see them like floating on the top. So we'll show you what it looks like, and you eventually rinse them off and dry them, but this is what you do, and this is the exact same thing that you do with tomatoes. If there isn't enough water in the jar, like for whatever reason it was just kind of dry in your cucumbers or your tomatoes, or you accidentally spilled it and all you have left is the seeds, fill it with water. The same thing will happen. It will all still release. It should be fine. Go ahead and scoop off. I'm going to rinse this really well, and then put water in it, and then see where everything falls. So I'm going to do that and be right back. Okay, so while they were fermenting, everything was on top. After I rinsed it and made sure that all that gel was off of the seeds, they mostly all sunk to the bottom. So I'm just going to go ahead and skim off everything on top. Same thing with my tomato seeds. Those are almost all on the bottom as well. So I'm going to go ahead and skim those off and then put them on their plates. Okay, so I'm going to skim off the top. Okay, now I'm just going to pour it out. And then I'm going to get a plate. I'm only using this napkin for drying. Look at it, it's already struggling. So I am just going to dry these for a bit, and then I'm going to put them on parchment paper once they're kind of soaked up on here, and then I'll spread them out a little better than even what it is. I just need a little bit of soaking from this napkin. Okay, so I'm just going to leave these on here for right now for probably about an hour just to get some of that water off of them. And then I may put them on like a Silpat or something to actually dry. If you don't know what a Silpat is, look it up. They're extremely useful, especially if you bake. If you do not, you can use wax paper or parchment paper. Some people have success on paper towels, but I end up getting bits of paper towel on my dried seeds, so I try not to use those. I actually even dried some Brandywine tomatoes, which that's what this is too, on this pink plate. So, and it was fine. So just give them a stir every couple days, and then I'll show you what the final product is going to look like. So as you can see here, the seeds are all nice and dry. The tomato seeds are dry as well. I need to pick those apart a little bit better before I actually package them. But you can actually like feel the seeds. There's no dryness. There's no moisture whatsoever. They actually feel like dry and kind of brittle. So you can pack these away. We have our corn and our green beans packaged away. We also have, so we'll have tomatoes, cucumbers. So there's the wet method. Here's the dried out method, which you kind of mostly dry it out on the plant and then collect the seeds and store those away. And that should do it. Okay, well there you have it. We have done our seeds. We have dried out 4 different types of seeds. We actually dry out like our all of our stuff. I actually have some currently drying out. I have some pepper seeds in our living room. I try to keep them inside so that it's a little bit cooler. The sun would actually dry them out. I don't know how viable they would be after being in the sun. I just don't. So I've never done that, and so I don't suggest it. But we'll do this with our pumpkins and a lot of the squashes that we have, even a lot of our flowers. Like I'm getting ready to do that with our bee balm. So you can do this with almost anything, unless something is taken, like potatoes. Of course, you replant potatoes. The garlic, you replant the garlic. So there are things that you actually replant the actual fruit, and then there's things that you have the seeds. So if you have any questions, put them down in the comments below. We love to answer questions. We love to hear from people who love gardening and cooking and all of these wonderful things that you do on the homestead. So remember, if we can save our seeds, anybody can. Thanks. Bye.